For years, he was not seen, not heard, and barely traced. No confirmed photographs, no verified recordings. Just whispers moving through intelligence channels and shadows slipping across satellite images. Somewhere in the world, Osama bin Laden was alive. And the most powerful intelligence agencies on Earth were chasing a ghost. He was born into wealth, surrounded by privilege, raised far from violence. Yet long before the world knew his name, something inside him began to drift toward isolation. While others saw prosperity, he saw humiliation. While others saw geopolitics, he saw betrayal. And quietly, almost invisibly, a radical belief took root. When the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan began, it lit a fuse that would burn for decades. What seemed like a distant war became a personal calling. Afghanistan was not just a battlefield. It was a proving ground. There, in the cold mountains and hidden valleys, bin Laden learned how chaos could be organized, how faith could be weaponized, and how loyalty could be stronger than fear. At first, he was a financier, then a strategist, then something far more dangerous. Camps appeared where none existed before. Fighters arrived from places no one expected. Communication networks formed without borders, without uniforms, without flags. And slowly a structure emerged that intelligence agencies underestimated. Victory against the Soviets did not bring peace. It brought confidence. To bin Laden, it confirmed a dangerous belief that superpowers could be defeated by patience and conviction. This belief would guide every move he made afterward. When foreign troops entered Saudi Arabia, something snapped. Publicly challenging authority sealed his fate. Exile followed. Home became unreachable. And exile transformed him. Sudan offered cover, but not silence. Intelligence agencies followed him there, tracking financial trails, listening to conversations, watching patterns form. Under pressure, he disappeared again. Afghanistan welcomed him back, and this time he arrived not as a supporter, but as a commander. Training camps expanded in secrecy. Recruits were trained not just to fight, but to vanish. Every lesson emphasized survival, anonymity, and silence. Then the world felt the impact. Embassies exploded. Innocent lives were lost. Each attack was calculated, symbolic, and deeply psychological. The message was clear: no distance was safe. After that, there was no turning back. Osama bin Laden was no longer an extremist leader. He was the face of global terror. And then came the moment that froze the world. In a matter of hours, everything changed. Skies emptied. Borders tightened. Fear became global. As buildings fell, a new era began. Intelligence agencies shifted into overdrive. War rooms filled. Screens glowed day and night. And at the center of every briefing was one name. The hunt began. Years passed. False leads surfaced and collapsed. Mountains were searched. Caves were bombed. Messages were intercepted, then deliberately misleading. Bin Laden adapted. He reduced communication, trusted only couriers, never used phones. Never appeared in public. His world shrank, but his shadow grew. Inside intelligence agencies, frustration mounted. Analysts debated whether he was even alive. Some believed he had died quietly. Others warned that assuming his death would be the greatest mistake of all. Then a fragment appeared. Not a voice, not a location. Just a name repeated quietly across intercepted communications. A courier, unknown to most, but consistent enough to matter. Slowly, cautiously, intelligence officers began pulling on the thread. Years of surveillance followed. Patterns were studied obsessively. A compound emerged on radar, isolated, deliberately silent. No internet, no phone lines. Trash burned instead of collected. High walls for no obvious reason. Still, certainty remained impossible. What if he wasn't there? What if this was another deception? What if the cost of being wrong was global humiliation? The decision carried unbearable weight. When authorization finally came, it was done in silence. No public preparation, no warnings. Only a small group of people knew what was about to happen. Helicopters lifted into the night, flying low, invisible to radar. Inside the compound, the man who once commanded networks across continents lived a confined existence. Cut off, isolated, silent, The architect of chaos reduced to waiting, unaware that the end was minutes away. The operation was over almost as soon as it began. There were no celebrations, no speeches, just confirmation. The world would learn later. Intelligence officers returned to anonymity. Analysts closed files that had been open for over a decade. But the story did not end there. Because killing a man does not erase an idea. Networks adapt. Ideologies mutate. And intelligence work continues long after headlines fade. Osama bin Laden did not fall from power, he disappeared into it. His life serves as a warning of how belief, when combined with isolation and grievance, can reshape history in the darkest ways. This documentary is not about fear. It is about vigilance, about understanding how shadows form, how they move, and why the most dangerous threats are often the ones that remain unseen. Because somewhere, right now, intelligence agencies are watching another silence and wondering what it hides.